Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe my channel and like for latest news. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most dramatic and shocking events of the ongoing war, how Ukraine set the perfect trap that completely annihilated a Russian battalion. What unfolded in those few hours was not just a tactical victory, but a display of strategic brilliance that has left military analysts around the world stunned. This was not luck. It was a carefully planned operation that demonstrated Ukraine's growing sophistication and adaptability in modern warfare. The story begins in the gray zone, that volatile area where Ukrainian and Russian forces are constantly testing each other's strength. For weeks, Russian units had been attempting to push forward near a strategic location in the Donetsk region. Their objective was to capture a small but crucial Ukrainian-held village that provided a commanding view of the surrounding terrain. To the Russians, this seemed like a routine operation. They had superior numbers, heavy artillery, and air support on standby. But what they didn't know was that Ukraine had been watching their every move, from drones in the sky to signals intelligence tracking radio transmissions. Ukrainian commanders knew exactly when and where the Russians would strike. They decided to turn the Russian offensive into a death trap. Instead of defending the frontline village with full strength, Ukrainian troops pulled back slightly, creating the illusion that they were retreating under pressure. This fake withdrawal was convincing enough to make Russian commanders believe they were winning. Excited and overconfident, the Russians advanced quickly, unaware that they were walking straight into a killing zone that had been meticulously prepared days in advance. The terrain around the village was surrounded by forests, narrow roads, and open fields, the perfect environment for an ambush. Ukrainian engineers had planted dozens of anti-tank mines and hidden explosive traps along the main approach routes. Drone units had marked the coordinates of every likely Russian path. Artillery crews, meanwhile, were positioned miles away, ready to unleash devastating precision strikes once the Russians entered the kill zone. It was a textbook setup for a catastrophic ambush. As the Russian battalion moved in, Ukrainian drone operators tracked every vehicle from the sky. The Russian column consisted of armored personnel carriers, tanks, and support trucks carrying ammunition. They moved in a long line, stretching several kilometers. Everything seemed normal to them. They were expecting light resistance. But the moment the lead vehicle crossed into the target area, the first explosion ripped through the air. An anti-tank mine detonated, destroying the leading vehicle and blocking the narrow road. The rest of the convoy halted instantly, confused and disoriented. That was the moment Ukraine unleashed its trap. Artillery shells began raining down on the trapped convoy. Precision, guided rounds, coordinated through drone surveillance, hit target after target. The forest echoed with explosions as Russian vehicles burst into flames one after another. Ukrainian anti-tank teams hidden on the flanks opened fire with javelins and NLAWs, hitting the remaining tanks trying to maneuver out. Within minutes, the Russian formation descended into chaos. Commanders tried to restore order, but communication lines were jammed, and the battlefield was engulfed in smoke and fire. The Russian soldiers tried to take cover, but Ukrainian drones hovered above them, dropping small bombs with deadly accuracy. Some Russian troops attempted to retreat, only to run straight into more minefields or hidden Ukrainian positions that had been waiting silently for this moment. Every escape route had been covered. It was as if the Ukrainians had predicted every move. In truth, they had, thanks to weeks of careful reconnaissance and electronic intelligence. Eyewitness accounts from Ukrainian soldiers described the scene as something out of a nightmare. The air was thick with smoke and the sound of secondary explosions as ammunition trucks caught fire. Flames rose high into the sky, visible from miles away. The ambush lasted only about 45 minutes, but by the time it ended, An entire Russian battalion had been wiped out or rendered combat ineffective. Dozens of vehicles were destroyed. Survivors fled on foot, abandoning their dead and wounded. In the aftermath, Ukrainian drone footage captured the scale of the destruction. The wreckage of burned out tanks and trucks lined the road, twisted metal scattered across the fields. It was a devastating blow for the Russian forces, not just in terms of losses, but morale. This was supposed to be an easy advance, yet it turned into a massacre. Ukrainian intelligence later confirmed that this battalion had been part of a larger Russian push intended to gain momentum in the region. Instead, it became a warning to others. Ukraine was no longer fighting defensively, it was outsmarting its enemy at every step. What makes this event even more significant is how it showcases Ukraine's mastery of modern, asymmetric warfare. Rather than relying on brute force, Ukraine used deception, intelligence, and technology to achieve overwhelming results. Drones, electronic warfare, and real-time data sharing between units allowed Ukrainian commanders to coordinate the ambush with surgical precision. Every artillery strike, every mine, every drone hit was part of a well-orchestrated plan. Russian military bloggers and analysts were quick to express shock at how efficiently the operation was executed. Many criticized the lack of reconnaissance and poor communication within the Russian ranks. Some even accused Russian officers of sending troops blindly into a death trap without adequate support. In Moscow, officials downplayed the losses, describing them as limited tactical setbacks. But satellite images and independent footage told a different story, one of complete devastation. The psychological impact of this ambush cannot be overstated. Russian soldiers on the front lines began circulating messages warning others to avoid advancing without proper scouting. Fear and confusion spread within nearby units. On the Ukrainian side, morale soared. This was more than just revenge or defense. It was proof that Ukraine could dictate the terms of battle, even against a numerically superior enemy. Military experts have compared this ambush to famous historical traps like the Battle of Ia Drang, or even the ambushes used during World War II. The level of coordination displayed here suggests that Ukraine's military has learned rapidly from NATO training and real battlefield experience. It also demonstrates how modern warfare has evolved, where drones and intelligence often matter more than raw firepower. After the ambush, Ukrainian forces quickly secured the area, collected valuable equipment, and captured surviving Russian soldiers. Interrogations revealed that many had no idea they were walking into a trap. They had been told that Ukrainian forces were retreating and that they would face minimal resistance. This overconfidence cost them dearly. Analysts later described this operation as a turning point in the local theater, a moment when Russia's momentum was completely shattered in that sector. Even weeks later, the footage from this ambush continues to circulate online, becoming a symbol of Ukraine's resilience and tactical genius. The precision, the timing, and the complete dominance shown in that battle send a clear message. Ukraine is not just surviving, it is mastering the art of war. Every failure of the Russian command structure, every careless push, is being turned against them. As the war continues, events like this show that intelligence, innovation, and morale are just as important as weapons. Ukraine has managed to adapt faster, think smarter, and act bolder. This ambush wasn't just a lucky break, it was the result of discipline, patience, and cutting-edge coordination. It stands as a testament to what happens when strategy defeats strength. So as the smoke clears and the world watches, one thing becomes clear: Ukraine's perfect trap didn't just destroy a Russian battalion. It sent a powerful message to Moscow. This is a new kind of war, and the old tactics no longer work. The battlefield has changed, And Ukraine is proving that with courage, intelligence, and determination, even the mightiest opponent can be outsmarted and crushed. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates and news about the ongoing war. Stay tuned, more shocking developments are coming soon.